That is Corey. He's helping us with our inflatable decoy test for Ratchet and Clank. Oh, man.
The inflatable decoy, one of 36 weapons and gadgets not fit for this world. Rated T for teen.
The best-selling console of all time, the PS2. At least at the time of this recording. Who knows, maybe when you're watching this in a few years, the Nintendo Switch would have passed it. But with a console as popular as the PS2 was, and still is, there is a lot, and I mean a lot of games on this thing. Over 4,000 of them if you include the remasters and different editions. Now with a library that big, there are bound to be some weird, wacky, obscure hidden gems buried in there somewhere. I also switched this list around probably a billion times because there just is so much. Maybe one day there'll be a part 2, but in this video I'm going to lay out some of the best little known, rare, and obscure games that you probably missed on the PS2. As always, let me know down below in the comments if you found a new game from the list, as my goal with these videos is to give you something new to try. So let's get right into it. Here are my picks for the top 10 obscure PS2 games you have to play. Kuon. Kuon is a 2004 survival horror game that takes place in Japan's Heian period, hopefully I said that right, somewhere around 900 AD. If you're a fan of the Souls games, this isn't one, but it is developed by From Software, so this is a great time to check out something different, like a different genre, by the legendary creator of Elden Ring and Dark Souls. In this adaptation of survival horror, you play as 3 different characters, Atsuki, Sakuya, and Abe no Saimai, hopefully again I said that right, where you explore the grounds of the Fujiwara Manor, not too unlike the mansion from Resident Evil. Like the early RE games, the gameplay is seen from a camera angle of the third-person fixed perspective. As you explore the manor, you'll find locked doors and puzzles along the way, and be met by an array of horrifying creatures. Each character has a different melee weapon that they can use, as well as spell cards that you find along the way that can produce different effects in battle, such as lighting enemies on fire or even summoning your own entity to help you in battle. The story is split into 3 parts: the Yin phase, which follows Atsuki, the Yang phase, which follows Sakuya, and the unlockable 3rd phase, Kuon, following Abe no Saimai. At the Fujiwara Manor, there are 2 magical mulberry trees. These trees birth silkworms, which weave cocoons around the dead to resurrect them, but with a catch. They can only be sustained by merging with the living and absorbing their, in quotations, grudge. If this merging of living dead is successfully performed 9 times, a person can then be reborn. This is known as the Kuon ritual. As you progress through the game, you'll unravel the mysteries of the mansion and those that are behind this dark ritual. I don't want to go into too much detail here, as the story is kind of the main feature of this game. While the game did not score very well upon release, it was likely drowned out by the more popular Resident Evil and Silent Hill games. It has become very well received by the general gaming population over the years. So if you're looking for some old school Resident Evil, Silent Hill style gameplay with a different spin from a beloved developer, you need to check out Kuon. God Hand. This 2006 beat-em-up style game was originally released to some pretty mixed and lackluster reviews, but as time goes on, it's become a bit of a cult classic. This game plays more than just a beat-em-up though. While the main movement on the left stick operates like tank controls, this kind of makes sense more as you play the game, trust me. The right stick allows you to dodge in any direction, which adds a lot of depth to the combat. Then on top of that, you've got really deep customization. You've got over 100 moves and abilities that you can map to each face button. These moves include anything from like your basic jabs, punches, kicks, to more advanced attacks in different fighting styles, such as the Drunken style. Then you've got all these more powerful abilities from your God Reel. It's like a roulette wheel containing moves you can choose, though it is limited by the roulette orbs that you collect. Oh, and did I mention, this game is hard and can require a lot of skill and a lot of thought. From choosing the best moves and abilities to deal with bosses and opponents, to a difficulty level bar. This one's kind of funny actually. It's a difficulty level bar that dynamically adjusts based on your performance. So, for example, if you're getting beat up, it automatically drops the difficulty, but if you're decimating the competition, it ramps up the difficulty. There are 4 difficulties called levels 1 through 3, and then the final difficulty just being named Die. Basically, if you're doing too good, the game ramps up so hard that it basically just kills you. This makes it so you can't just mindlessly hack and slash your way through the game like your normal sort of beat 'em up. You have to kind of ebb and flow the combat to not become overwhelmed, unless maybe you're good enough. The plot follows the main protagonist, Jean, who, while saving a girl named Olivia, loses his arm in the process. Luckily, she just happens to be a descendant from an ancient clan entrusted to protect what's known as the God Hands. How convenient! She then grafts this God Hand onto Jean, and it is now up to Jean to stop the 4 main demonic villains from resurrecting an ancient demon known as King Angra. On top of all that incredible gameplay, God Hand serves up some of the best comic relief as well throughout the game, and some excellent storytelling and great character development. From the first bosses, which are just a couple of gay guys trying to, make a little proposition for Jean, and then there's another boss that's just struggling with weight loss issues. You don't often see this stuff in gaming very often, so go check out God Hand for yourself. It's a shame it wasn't appreciated in its time. Dark Cloud. That guy looks a little familiar, doesn't he? Next up, we've got an often overlooked little gem. Dark Cloud is an action RPG that was originally supposed to be a PS2 launch title, but unfortunately, at the time, released over a year later in North America. Though it did eventually become a million seller by 2014, it still remained pretty obscure through most of its relevance and deserves a spot on this list. Dark Cloud is primarily an action RPG, but it also leans into other genres as well, such as city building and dungeon crawling styles. The majority of the combat is like a real-time hack and slash, with some quick-time events thrown in. Now, I'll be real for a second, quick-time events kinda piss me off. Cutscenes are like when I'm, taking a sip of a drink, taking a bite of a snack, and no one likes spilling their drink because of an unexpected quick-time event. But Dark Cloud does it just a little bit different. To me, it almost plays more like a rhythm or a music game. You'll know where it's a QuickTime event, and it won't just pop up and say press X at a random time. The gameplay loops revolve around the dungeon crawling aspects to collect Atla, large spherical objects that transform into trees, houses, villages, and stuff to build the world outside. Instead of leveling up your character, you instead level up your weapons, which grants you more damage, defense, and different abilities that vary from weapon to weapon. The game also features 6 main playable characters to use, 3 melee, and 3 ranged fighters, all with different abilities to help you progress through those dungeons. The plot follows 6 main characters, in particular the main character Tone, who band together to defeat the Dark Genie, who is responsible for the destruction of many of the world's villages. Tone is given a magical stone called the Atlamilia by the Fairy King Simba, different Simba, which grants him the ability to rebuild all those destroyed lands. So if you're looking for an action RPG that will give you tons of hours of exploration, leveling up, and building and crafting options, look no further than this often forgotten little piece of history, Dark Cloud. Xenosaga. Now this one has been on my own backlog of games I need to play because, as the name implies, it's from that same general universe as the Xenoblade games. Now, technically, what I'm recommending here is actually 3 games. There's episode 1, 2, and 3. That's about 3 40 to 60 hour games. This one is for the fans of the series, and to those that haven't played any of the Xenoblades on the Switch or Wii, I highly recommend you can play those ones in any order. Now with Xenosaga though, they are best played in order, unlike Xenoblade, as they all are not just entirely different stories. Xenosaga is a pretty traditional turn-based JRPG. You explore environments, collecting items and weapons, battling enemies and bosses, separated by story cutscenes to drive the narrative of the game. Each character has access to melee and ranged abilities, as well as guarding. More than just the basics, you've also got to balance your AP. AP is used up for each turn for various attacks, but the fun part is that you can budget your AP and save some for later, allowing you to unleash some stronger attacks at a later time. Then you've got boost meters to allow for additional attacks, as well as a mech system allowing your party members to hop into mechs for a whole different attack style. Xenosaga also has a fun little mech battle minigame, and a pretty in-depth card game built in too. In line with the other Xeno games, the story is incredibly complex and in-depth, with fully voiced cutscenes throughout. Now, fair warning though, if you've not played a Xeno game, some of these cutscenes are very long. I'm talking like 20-30 minutes. But I've always found the story of these games to be very intriguing, enough at least to make me not feel like it's a very long pause of gaming. I don't really mind. If you're looking for 100+ hours of JRPG to sink your teeth into, look no further than the often overlooked Xenosaga series on the PS2. Hopefully one of these games has piqued your interest. We've got 6 more games to talk about, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you like this content. It really helps the channel grow so I can keep the flow of good games coming for you. Next up, we've got Mr. Mosquito. So, here's something very different. Mr. Mosquito plays as a stealth game that was released in 2002 internationally. Now, while the concept of the game is just as you'd expect from a game called Mr. Mosquito, you play as a mosquito. It's in the uniqueness that gives this game its intrigue. I mean, can you name another mosquito game? Like, sure, if you want to break it down to just like a blood-sucking game, then fine. There's lots of vampire games. Hell, some of those vampires can even fly. So, let's get into what this game is about. Okay. Let's get into what else this game is about. Gameplay revolves around one thing: sucking blood. Specifically, the blood from the Yamada family that you have found your way into their home. Now, you can only suck blood from designated body areas at specific times based on the human's movement. The challenge is in managing your victim's stress meter. You suck too fast and the stress level goes up, which could cause your little mosquito to get squatted and squished. And that's an insta-death. You also can go into this sort of battle mode, almost like a boss battle if you are noticed by the humans. You then must calm your victims by hitting a number of pressure points. And the more I think of it, I don't think that would calm me personally, a mosquito hitting pressure points, but alright, I guess I had to figure it out somehow. As you progress through the game, the stages take place in different areas of the house with items and collectibles hidden throughout. Now, while you won't be playing Mr. Mosquito for the deep narrative or plot, it is a good time and a truly unique gaming experience, not just on the PS2, but in general. You can even check it out on the PSN, on the PS4, and the PS5, so get out there and get sucking. Giggity. Obscure. I mean, come on, how could I make a list of obscure PS2 games and not include a game called Obscure that actually happens to be just that, obscure? It's almost too perfect. While the game reviews at the time were not favorable, it has developed a bit of a cult following. This is due to its approach to survival horror. It harkens back to those old B-rated horror movies that were more cheesy than anything, but nonetheless, still entertaining. The plot follows 4 high school kids, Josh, Stan, Shannon, and Ashley, who investigate the mysterious disappearance of their friend, Kenny.
Oh my god! They killed Kenny! You bastard!
The students end up getting locked up inside of the Leafmore High, which I gotta say, is a pretty dirty-ass school. But they get locked inside the school while searching for Kenny. They begin to uncover a sinister plot by the principal and the faculty. And quick question, where in the school does this guy hide during school hours? I couldn't figure it out. Like I said, go into this thinking like it's a, B-rated horror movie and you won't be disappointed. Also, you can tell Leafmore High is in the United States somewhere. In the vein of other survival horror games of the time, you'll be dealing with monster battles, puzzles, locked doors, bad camera angles, and weird architectural choices. You know what I mean, like, why do I gotta solve a puzzle to unlock a door to get into the bathroom or something? It just never made sense to me. Each character has their own specialties though, such as Stan's ability to pick locks and break into rooms easier than the others, or Ashley's increased proficiency with weapons. Oh, and it does have a fully playable co-op mode as well, so you can actually play this one with a friend in case you're a scared little bitch. I gotta say, seems like Resident Evil 0 kinda messed up not having this. Obscure has become quite beloved over the years, so if you're a survival horror fan and you like cheesy plots straight out of a B-movie, give Obscure a shot. Stretch Panic. Stretch Panic, or Freak Out as it's called in Europe, is a 3D platformer that was released in 2001. The game follows Linda, who has the power to pinch, stretch, and bend her enemies and various objects. The gameplay revolves around using these elastic abilities of her scarf, so you can pull on and stretch your enemies and let them go to snap back and cause damage. You can also pull on the ground to launch Linda ahead. Now, while this game is no graphically impressive powerhouse, I can only assume this is due to those limitations of the PS2 and being able to bend and stretch basically everything in the game, so they opted for more of like something more low poly, low texture to focus on gameplay. Not exactly a bad thing though. The plot follows Linda, who is tasked with saving her 12 sisters who are all possessed by demons after opening a mysterious package delivered to their home. You'll navigate the main hub that looks like some sort of soft pencil-drawn, low-frame sketch animation type of thing. I thought this was very unique. And battle the vanity of your sisters brought out by the demons. The majority of this game plays out essentially in boss battles that vary in difficulty, but they all stand out as very unique. There are at least 2 big reasons to play this game. Okay. All jokes aside, Stretch Panic is a standout that is often overlooked, so try out something new that really pushed the boundaries of creativity. Radiata Stories. An action JRPG by Square in 2005, right around when they were on that hot streak of RPGs. You know what I'm talking about? Final Fantasy XII, Kingdom Hearts 2, Dragon Quest VIII. So Radiata kind of got buried and bombarded with mixed reviews due to all those other games coming out at the time. It was only as time went on that it started to develop a bit of a loyal fan base. Let's look at why. One of the key elements of Radiata Stories focuses on its persistent world of NPCs who all have their own lives. Each character goes quite in depth, actually, from their individual lifestyles, jobs, personalities, dialogues. They all have schedules, all governed by an in-game day and night cycle. 176 of these NPCs are actually recruitable for your party, allowing for a ton of combinations to fit any playstyle or need. But only Jack, who is the main character, is playable. Party members can be given commands, though. While monsters and enemies do appear on the map while you're walking around, combat takes place in its own arena in real time. Combat itself, while not super in-depth, is quite fun and still serviceable. The game even has 2 endings depending on the choices you make, so between that and the huge amount of recruitable NPCs, this game's got all the replay value. Oh, and you can just kick everything. One of the game's main mechanics is this kick feature. You can just like kick rocks, kick bushes, kick people and start fights with them like it's GTA. This game actually kicks ass. The story takes place in the land of Radiata. I wonder if maybe that's where they get the name from. Where you play as Jack Russell. No furry. Jack's father was a famous knight, and it's Jack's goal to be as good as his daddy was. Jack is somehow still recruited to the Knights of Radiata after being embarrassingly defeated in the recruitment tournament due to his father's reputation. And get this. So he becomes under the command of Captain Gans Rothschild. This is the son of the guy who allegedly murdered Jack's father. That's kind of messed up. Jack is sent out on a mission where he and his crew are ambushed by red orcs. His friend in the process is mortally wounded. They get kicked out of the Knights, and now he must find a way to prove himself to get back in. That's the best way I could describe it without spoiling anything, so just go play it. It's a fantastic JRPG from Square's golden era. Klonoa 2: Lunity's Veil. Are you thirsty for a platformer that can rival the best of them like Sonic and Mario and Donkey Kong? Then look no further than this side-scrolling platform that very few have heard of. As the name implies, it's actually a sequel to Klonoa: The Door to Phantomile on the PS1. Using a DK Country or Mario-style overworlded map, you'll drop into the game's many levels consisting of standard platforming, boss battles, and board riding stages. Featuring beautiful graphics that have a kind of cartoony or cel-shaded look that always stands up well, runs smooth as butter at 60 frames a second, and the controls in this game are super tight as well. Oh, it also has a really good soundtrack. It's no wonder this game scored a 91 on Metacritic. Shame it just didn't sell well. In addition to your standard platformers jumping, you've also got your signature wind bullet. You can use this to grab enemies, to solve puzzles, gain abilities, or even double jump. It features excellent boss battles and plays very fair. It's not like a pushover, but it's not frustratingly hard either. When you die, you will feel like, it was probably your fault. It even features a plot that could rival some of the best JRPGs out there, where Klonoa and his 2 buddies, Lolo and Popka, must foil a sinister force which is causing a mire of gloom to plague the land of Lunity. So if you're a fan of those 2D platformers, put this run right on the top of your must-play list. Oh, and You don't have a PS2 and a copy of the game, and you don't know how to emulate? Well, lucky for you, it was re-released on the Switch, PS4 and 5, and the Xbox Series in 2022, so you've got no more excuses. Go play it. Downhill Domination. Okay, I didn't think that I'd be putting a mountain biking game on this list, but the amount of times people had suggested it around the internet is absurd. So I did some research, and damn, this game actually looks amazing. So the suggestions make sense. Let's take a look. Downhill Domination at its heart is just a racing game, but with some combat mixed in. You can use 2 buttons to punch and kick your opponents on the left and right as you perform tricks, and you take out your opponents and collect power-ups, and you can upgrade all of these attacks as well. The game features about 27 courses that you can play and unlock, and you'll be doing tricks over volcanoes and rivers at high speeds, all while trying not to wipe out. Which even wiping out in this game is kind of fun. The game almost encourages you to try and go off the beaten path to discover shortcuts, which I found pretty cool. And it encourages you to find ways down the hill that at first may have not even seemed possible that you could even go over there. But somehow it worked, and now you're ahead. As you win races, you'll collect prize money that then you can use to purchase bikes and gear, which will help you in turn win more races and get even more money and buy even more stuff. Downhill Domination also features multiplayer up to 4 people, so now you can punch your friends. The game's soundtrack and voice acting is definitely not the highlight here, but if you're looking for an arcadey style racing game that's generally a joy to play, give Downhill Domination a go. And that concludes my picks for the top 10 obscure PS2 games that you have to play. As always, I hope this video helped you find at least one new game that you can add to your backlog. I know it certainly did for me. And hey, if you found something new, come back, drop a comment, and let me know how you enjoyed the game. If you could also do me a solid by dropping a like, a comment, subscribe, or even share the video to help people find this video and help more people find new old games to play, that would be greatly appreciated. Let me know what console I should cover next, and in case you missed the last top 10, I'll leave it on the screen somewhere up here, and thank you very much for watching. Catch you on the next one.